Hello, Leo. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Leo is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Leo, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Ten of Wands. I feel like you're somebody who has been pushing and pushing and pushing and striving for a long time. I feel that you have kind of a lot of weight on your shoulders. I feel like you've been sort of burdened with a lot of responsibility. You're somebody that can handle it, though. I mean, so it's a good thing, right? You're somebody that thrives on the pressure at sometimes, right? But are we reaching the point where enough is enough, where we really need something to happen? I kind of get this sense that, like, you know, you're right at the edge of something, like something big is bound to happen very soon, right? And I kind of feel like that's where we're at, that we're pushing so long, and there's something in the back of your brain that says, just keep going a little bit more, and something's going to finally give way, right? Let's see what's going on with this card. I get the feeling that you don't really ask for help as often as maybe you could be asking for help. Oh, we've got the Fool, and look at that. If this isn't the pair of like a release, then I don't know what is. The extreme of the Ten of Wands, giving way to this ultimate freedom, right? I feel like this is the transcendence. This is just kind of you're working so hard, we're reaching a critical mass, then suddenly we just float away. That you achieve this success. I think your jackpot is so close right now. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got the Hierophant. We've got a Queen of Swords. A Princess of Cups, the Fish in the Percolator. Very nice, this card here. A Four of Wands. Okay, yeah. I feel like we're closing out a cycle here. We're getting ready for the next one. Okay, and I feel like you know the next one, it's kind of going to be the same thing. It's going to be this this kind of large, almost a slow-moving. You think of something like, the way I feel is like we think of the planets or the stars, right? We feel like they move very slowly. But they're moving at like breakneck speeds, you know, like insane speeds in outer space, right? But it's kind of this idea of something that's moving very, very slowly, but with so much mass, so much power and force behind it. And that's kind of what I feel with your cycles here. And I feel like you're starting a new one, but maybe there's time for a little bit of, relaxation. I don't know, we'll see. It seems like we're getting right on to the next thing here. But I feel like this is a leveling up, okay? Got the Three of Wands. We've got another court card here with the Knight of Swords, Three of Pentacles now, Fire to Earth. Right? Fire to earth. I feel like you're breaking through, you're leveling up, you're reaching this jackpot, and it's kind of, we're right into the next thing, and you're pushing ahead with something else, you know? And there it is, the Chariot too. That's the kind of the commitment and the devotion to this path that you're on. So I feel like this is kind of like the ultimate level up for you, but the work is not done. Like you're still going to be kind of looking for the next thing, or maybe you already know the next thing. We do have a little bit of air energy here in the court cards, but let's select the mystery card. This is the bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down over here. We're going to put Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. And we're not going to look at this card until the very end, all right? But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If you have a prediction for that card, put it in the comments. Let's exercise our intuition. It's always a good thing, right? Every opportunity we get, we should be trying to exercise that intuitive muscle, all right? anyway, it might be fun. Let's take a look around the room here. We've got major arcana. Yes, we do. We've got 1, 2, and 3. I feel like with the Hierophant underneath here, you're really transcending some sort of boundary here. You know what I mean? You're working on something that is sort of going against the grain, or it's something for which you've learned the rules, and now you're sort of transcending the rules. Okay? That you're rising above kind of it's almost like you're surpassing even your master, your teachers, I feel that there's a real this real idea of kind of not breaking the rules, not even really bending them, but just kind of being on a whole different level, right? But you have this Hierophant underneath everything, so I think that you've really, whatever you're doing right now, something that you've studied for, it's something that you've learned, you've trained, you read the book on it, But now, with this Fool energy, you're transcending the textbook, the rule book. You're doing your own thing. You've become sort of this master where you can kind of make up the rules as you go now, in a way, So very different between the Hierophant and the Fool. They both could be very wise, but they both could be very foolish too. There's somebody here who is all full of dogma, and somebody who knows the rules, somebody who appears like a wise person, but they really could be a fool, right? And then, of course, someone who appears like a fool, but this is and ends up being the savior, the hero of the story, and the really wise person here, okay? So I feel like you're kind of, in a way, you're getting away even from somebody who you thought had the best advice for you, but you're kind of realizing, I think, that you don't need to take their advice. Yeah. I feel like there's kind of, you've kind of realized that you know more than this other, I don't know if it's another person or the institution or whatever it is, but you kind of feel like you don't need that advice anymore. Yeah. The Chariot card at the end here, I think, is representing sort of the ongoing nature of this thing and your commitment to it. So we've got really good major arcana energies. This might even be something that's leading to some kind of long-distance travel for you. Okay. We've got our fire energy, 1, 2, 3 fire energies. And then really we just get into the court cards. We've got a little bit of water. We got a little bit of air. And then we've got finally a single earth card here. So to me, it feels like it's not really so much about the physical components or the physical results of what you're doing. It's not about the final product. It's about the process for you. Okay? And I think it really, too, it's also about the kind of freedom that you have. I don't know if you're kind of like going solo in some way, or you're starting your own business that you've kind of, maybe you're getting out of school and you are starting something genius on your own, But I kind of feel like you're doing something that is meant to lead toward more freedom for you, freedom of movement, allowing you the means, the resources to travel and to kind of, to pursue even the home, your sort of ideal, permanent, forever home. So I think you're doing something here that feels independent. It feels like you're starting your own business, you're going to work for yourself, you're transcending the need for that institution, and you're kind of going your own way somewhere. Okay, and we could be talking business, we could be talking school, we could be talking some sort of artistic thing, we could be talking family. I do know that there are other people very close to you right now. And I feel like travel is definitely, Spirit's telling me travel's coming. Okay, travel is definitely coming. Whether these people are going with you or not, I don't know. We've got 1, 2, 3 court cards. We kind of have the idea of even, it feels like a family thing because we have kind of father, mother, and child here. So with that, now it's not gender specific, but that sort of configuration lets me know that it is kind of a family thing. Okay, that there are family members that are somehow involved in this in a major way. Now, maybe that's kind of part of the institution that we realize we don't really need the advice anymore. Maybe we don't need to be sort of dependent on that structure right now. So it could be that's sort of what you're moving away from, is the reliance on, kind of the childhood structure, the very supportive family and needing that. It almost feels like the Fool is kind of leaving home here, right, to go find their own home. there's an issue with shellfish for someone in your family. Someone's allergic to shellfish, or maybe just doesn't like it. I'm not sure what that is. But the Fool. The Fool is, probably the most sought after card of the tarot, but also the most sort of complex. It's a very simple card, but it's kind of the most complex, right? Because it's a card that kind of says you succeed by not trying, that you do by not doing, that you commit by being unattached, So it really is this kind of aloof energy, and there's part of us that stays sort of detached from what we do in order, I think, to really see it objectively, which we have a strong indication of that here with the court cards and the suit of the swords. With the queen and with the knight, I feel like you have to look at things objectively. And I think that we have to get away from whoever's giving you advice right now, take it with a grain of salt. That's all I'm going to say. Okay? Strive for your own perspective and see things. If somebody tells you something is supposed to be a certain way, or gives you that advice, tells you what you should be doing, I want you to kind of rise up and look at it yourself. Okay? Because the Fool could be the fool who just blindly takes somebody's advice and goes that route and may regret it later. The Fool could really prove themselves to be the hero, to be the savior, and does not take the advice blindly, but rather goes and verifies for themselves. Okay. Someone close to you has either a face tattoo or some sort of a scar on their face. Yeah. The Fool transcends. The Fool looks to always be leveling up, always be looking for a new opportunity, needs novelty, needs everything to be sort of the first time, right? Doing everything again for the first time. The Fool is unattached. The Fool kind of has that goldfish memory, forgets everything it's ever done because everything just feels new. Like if we look at it that way, the goldfish has such a wonderful existence because every moment is like, wow, a new experience. Like, what is this little castle and treasure chest down here? I've never seen this before. This is amazing. This is wild. It's the 1,000th time that they've swam in that circle, So in a sense, this is really kind of, I think, your attitude of putting what's already been accomplished behind you, right? That whatever you've done now, whatever you've done before, it has no real bearing on right now. But it's all going into the unconscious, right? And part of that really is you building up your own sort of hierophant down here underneath everything. Because everything that you've ever done now is part of your skill set. But as far as your conscious energy is concerned, I feel like it's under the bridge. Been there, done that. What's now? What's coming? What am I doing right now, So I think that this really is your ultimate level up. And I feel like everything... after this energy sort of bursts, after this cycle sort of completes, everything's going to be new. I feel like you're going to be a new person in a new place doing new stuff, But the Hierophant is really important because I think the Hierophant is sort of giving a little nod to those energies that kind of helped you to get where you are. And now there's no real reliance on those, but we understand that it was a very necessary part of the way you developed, okay? The way that you sort of came up, even though we don't need this anymore. It's kind of like, you graduate university, for those of you that have, I never did, but you kind of, you have your textbooks, and it's like they just stay on the shelf as kind of an honorary thing. They're collecting dust, We don't need them anymore. We don't rely on them anymore because we're progressive. We're going forward. We're trying to learn and innovate and stay kind of on the cutting edge of the development of the science or whatever, right? So we don't really need those textbooks, but they're just there as kind of as a nod, as an honorary thing. And that's kind of what the Hierophant is here. But the Hierophant, in terms of that advice, I think be careful with whoever's giving you advice now. Spirit's saying to take a look at everything yourself. We do notice in the reading that there's the fire and the air and the earth and stuff. There's not a lot of water energy except for this. The Princess of Cups, and I think this is the fish in the percolator. This is something that really could be a distraction, could be a red herring. It could be a misleading sort of emotional energy or a little glitz and glamour somewhere in your life that might be taking you away from what your true mission is, what you really are needing to do with your life. So be careful for things that look appealing on the surface especially if somebody else is encouraging you or trying to give you advice to go in a certain direction, and it might be kind of pulling at your heartstrings a little bit or pulling at your at your desires a little bit. Be sure to take a look at that. Okay? Because we want to make sure that we are following those real soul desires, those real aspirations, and not sort of being distracted by that person that says, hey, look over there, you know? So be careful with things like that. And definitely with the Queen of Swords, get that higher perspective, that detached sort of perspective, right? Where you're not so, you're not immersed in everything, especially when this cycle ends, when this accomplishment, this big burst of energy happens and all of this tension from this Ten of Wands finally releases. Don't be completely foolish and allow somebody to kind of, usher you in a different direction without first getting the higher perspective for yourself. Okay, to make sure that your next turn is the right one. Okay? Because we see with the Four of Wands that you're keeping your hands on the wheel, which I think is a very good thing, and you're moving into the next cycle of energy, which I think is on a higher level. I think that there is kind of a need for closing something out here. It's kind of you're completing some sort of endeavor, project, a cycle of something here with the Ten of Wands. And it kind of is the idea that you've got to say goodbye to the energies of that last thing. All those tools, all those materials, maybe some of the people that were involved there, they're not needed in this next thing. There's a lot that you may be wanting to take with you into this next cycle, but this is kind of saying you got to kind of tie up those loose ends. You got to have some closure. You got to resolve the issues and say, okay, thank you, it was done, but the contract's over now, and you're moving on to the next thing that you need. Okay, so don't drag something out. Don't carry something over into this next level that doesn't really need to be there, that you don't need to take with you. Does that make sense? I think you're very susceptible to subtle energies. The Fool is kind of, it's like a feather in the wind almost with the Fool energy, that it really can be blown in any direction. And if there's somebody in your life that has a little bit of that sort of access to you, that they could sort of blow you in a direction that you don't want to be in. You don't want to be going down that way, okay? We're going to talk about the path of the serpent now, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's free, and it helps the channel, and, it's tough all over here at YouTube, so I need as much help as I can get from you. I appreciate you. We got the Three of Wands here. You have a strong sense of your own identity. You know who you are, right? You know who you are. I feel like this is kind of the overarching mission of your life. That you can see things as being sections. And I think that you have this sort of you have a strong vision of the future because you know who you are. Right, and I kind of wish we had the star card here. Maybe the mystery card will be the star card, because this always connects with the star energy, because this is sort of the result of the first phase of the star card, which illumines the interior world. The star shows you who you are. The star allows you to answer the question, who am I? Right? This is who you are. This is what you believe in. This is your moral compass. This is your character. This is your integrity. This is what you believe in. This is what you will not compromise on with your life. This is your feeling of, I have a mission, that you are a unique and individual star in the universe, right? You're also just like everybody else. So you've got this sense of your own importance, but you also have a sort of humility about you. Yeah, like you're meant to do great things, but you're equal with everybody else because everybody else is meant to do great things too. Some of us are further or kind of farther behind in our realization or materialization of that greatness. of that genius. You might be a little bit further along than some of your peers, at least in terms of having done that interior work and having gone through that sort of that star energy process that shows us where our blockages are and where we sort of need to shine a little bit more light in ourselves. I feel like you had a younger female in your life that is in spirit now. Transitioned maybe a few years ago, a younger female energy. Yeah, I feel like they've been on your mind more lately. Maybe that's part of the Princess of Cups energy that we see here. I feel that this person's energy is still with you, and I feel like they're still very, very close to you, and I feel that you know that they're with you, right? And it could be that there maybe is a birthday kind of thing coming up, or for this person, I mean, I know, Leo, that we're in August, and that's your season, but I don't know if this person maybe had the same birthday as you, or if it's just something about your birthday that kind of brings all that energy back up again. Yeah. Let's talk about in the environment with the Knight of Swords here. I feel like this is, I feel like there's good news on its way to you. Spirit's saying that you're going to receive some kind of a letter. Maybe it's an email, but I see it as a letter, like an envelope. You're going to receive some really good news, and it kind of feels like this is the thing you've been waiting for. I don't know if it's like an acceptance letter or an approval or the kind of the grant or the loan or whatever it is, but there's something in that letter that you've been waiting for. I feel like it's on its way. Okay, and I feel like that's really going to kind of that's going to influence what your next move is. And it could be that some kind of a loan or some kind of an investment type of thing, because then we kind of see it going into the Three of Pentacles, where it's just like you have this next thing that you really want to start on, that you really want to do, but maybe we aren't sure if the resources are going to be there. Because again, there's not really a lot of earth energy here. Okay, and maybe since this is Taurus, this is earth energy, and this is earth energy, that maybe there is this other person or institute, or this is the idea that I could go to that bank and try to get that loan, but I'd really like to just kind of gather my own investors or something. You know what I mean? I'd rather find the resources somewhere else. This could be going to that one sort of mysterious uncle, that could loan you the money, but at what cost, right? Where we'd rather, we're kind of hoping this other thing comes through so that we don't have to go and ask this institution or this person, right? And I feel like that's kind of maybe what's in that envelope. Maybe that's the letter that is kind of showing you that what you've been hoping for is coming true, right? What you've been kind of wishing for and crossing your fingers over is going to happen for you. Okay. I also feel that you've recently started some sort of new, very fundamental change in your life, like really basic, something very fundamental, like your health routine or your eating habits, or like the time that you wake up in the morning, or something like that. I feel like it's very, very fundamental change or a new sort of routine that you've implemented, but it's very basic. It's just like the time you wake up in the morning and, kind of a focus on, I feel like it has something to do with health and well-being. Yeah, so it's either a new kind of change in eating habits or in sort of activity levels. Yeah. The Three of Pentacles, again, I feel like we're talking about something that is something that's still in potential form. So I feel like this is something that needs the resources in order to materialize it. And maybe that's really what you've been working on here, is securing something that now it's done, the energy is released, now we're just waiting for the letter to come in, we're waiting for that news, we're waiting for that envelope to arrive to say, yes, you got the approval, you can start building this. Because this seems like it's very good plan, it's very it's already sort of underway, but it hasn't quite materialized, like nothing's actually, you haven't actually broken ground on it yet, right? And maybe it's something to do with building the house or something. We do have the Chariot card coming as the final outcome here. And I think that this is this has something to do with the home. Yeah, it has something to do with travel. Don't rush into anything right now. Spirit's telling me don't rush into anything. Let the Fool kind of, blow around in the breeze a little bit without having to necessarily jump into the next cycle. I know that it's kind of like you got your hand on the wheel, your foot on the gas, and you just want to keep going. Spirit's telling me, slow down. Don't rush into anything. Okay, and certainly don't follow that one person's advice, right? And watch out for someone who's making a lot of promises, who keeps telling you, what Spirit's telling me to watch out for the one that's making all the promises. Okay? But the Chariot is kind of the continued journey. It's kind of like we've gotten off of this freeway. We're on a different freeway. Maybe we're on a country road now, right? That we have, we've completed, I think, the bulk of the work. The main task has kind of been completed. And now we're on sort of a different, maybe a more enjoyable sort of route. Okay? This could be all the legwork's been done. Now it's just really time to relax and wait and get that approval thing, whatever that is, and then just start building the thing. And then just start creating the physical structure of whatever it is you're dreaming about, whatever it is that you're doing, All your hard work is about to pay off. It really, truly is. Spirit is telling me that there's a lack of trust somewhere. There's not enough of these Swords cards to really show that there is... that there's clarity. We got to have some clarity about something, and maybe that's what this card is representing too. That this is the clarity is coming in. That letter, that news, that resource, the information is arriving that we're looking for. This is us we're getting up on the rooftop to look out over everything because we're looking for something. I feel like what you're looking for is coming in. Okay. Spirit is telling me that there's something to do with a banker or an investment or something like that. I don't know if that's your profession or if it's something that we're trying to sort of secure for resources, but I'm getting that indication. Also, the health thing is going to improve. I don't know what that means. Spirit's telling me the health thing is going to improve. Yeah. Okay. Mystery card. What is that one going to be? I'd like to see some good old earth energy. I'd like to see this 3 of Pentacles really start to become a 6, a 9, a 10. I want to see this thing I want to see the building being built. Yeah. But we also need some air. We also need some water or some more major arcana, right? So let's see what we have. Put your predictions down in the comments. Another 10 of Wands. I said at the beginning that you're not someone that likes to ask for help. I think that's probably a good thing right now because we have all this energy that I'm feeling of like someone's giving you advice or someone's making promises or somebody, and I feel like you're being kind of cautioned not to buy into it too much. So it might be this is a confirmation that says just keep carrying your own bundle of wood. If somebody's running up wanting here, give me all those, no, don't let them do it. It feels like they're trying to sort of either steer you in a different direction or even like force a favor that they do so then they can say like you owe me one. It's kind of that whole trope. So be careful with that. But I feel that this is the idea that you keep doing what you're doing. This sort of bubble, this swell of energy with the 10 of Wands is going to burst, right? You're going to succeed. You're going to be able to put this stuff down, right? Don't rush into the next thing. Don't let anybody kind of usher you into the next room or anything. But for right now, while you're still on this final push of this current cycle, keep doing it yourself. Don't let anybody kind of come and just take things out of your hand in order to lighten your load. I think this is one of those occasions where you don't need the help. You can do it just fine because there's some sort of mistrust going on. Okay. We're going to do an extended reading if you would like to watch. The link is in the corner, or there's also one down in the video description. New readings for Leo, Tuesdays. Bonus readings on Saturdays. Be sure to watch both. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It is totally free. It does not cost anything. And leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.